Hello again, everybody. This is Steve coming to you with another video on writing. This one is about example art. Now, for not everybody necessarily, this is going to work. Or let me rephrase that. This is not necessarily going to work for everybody. This is something though that works for me. It's useful. I have with my characters, I have regular notes. I have my notes in here, the wiki, that are direct canon. They are established in the world, and then I have my side notes that are in, like if you saw in the last video, they're in a notepad file that they don't make it into the story or the world as canon, but they're still important notes, so I'll keep those around. But example art is important, at least for me, in the sense that it shows me something I can look at and use to describe characters. Like I have this one for the Targaryens. This one isn't, of course, no artwork's ever going to be exactly how you picture it in your head. I don't care how good the artist is or how good your Google skills are. You're not going to have something that's a perfect one-to-one match. You would have to be your own artist to have that one-to-one perfect match, and even then you may not get it perfect. But yeah, example art is good when you have to describe characters. And like if you're describing this picture here, it's not necessarily always going to be you going 100% description on this. Like he's got this kind of elbow gauntlet or forearm gauntlet. He's got this chest piece, and it's got these particular designs on it, and he's got the shoulder still. You're not necessarily going to do that. You may, in your example image, like, for example, in this one, for my case, that doesn't exist on the outfit. Depending on who they are, they might have this battle armor, they might not. The face, though, is relevant. The fact that they're a tiger, kind of a weird-looking tiger, but they're a tiger. Going back here, and then like you go over here to the Gaekvan. I've got a better one than this one. I had one, I should say, but I lost it. But you got the Gaekvan. They're reptilian. You've got the flat nose. You've got the beady eyes and the prominent brow, and their spandex outfit or whatever that is. But you've got like the Gaekvan. You got the different things here with the facial expression or the facial appearance and stuff. I don't have a full body that I can work with, so I kind of fudge that, if you will. But it's like, with the Yetish. You can the Yetish are very Yeti-like. Zoom. There we go. So you've got this you can use to describe. Individual characters are going to have variations of this. If you can find variations of it, you've got something that you can use to man, I'm yawny tonight. Anyways, you got variations that you can use for the different individual characters, because even in the human race, we've got different people. We're all human, but different people look different ways. So like you could have somebody like this, it's just a common citizen that's a gay doll. You could have the Trepidor, like here's a generic Trepidor. You got the cloak that looks like a wing. The wings are actually underneath this. They're very heron-like. But then you've got other characters like Nan, for example. Nan has very diplomat-like clothing. He's got more the senatorial robes, and his cloak is still so wing-like, but it's a little bit different than a normal Trepidor. He's got the jewelry and other stuff like this. He's got a slightly different head. He's got the more intelligent eyes, things like that. And here's something too that I had to do with them to explain how you could have a sentient spacefaring species from a bird-like species that has a very small brain. And the explanation of that was that their brain is actually separated into three parts. They got two individual brains here and a smaller one up here. This one's more for sensory perception, eye or hearing, smell, taste, sight, anything that a small brain like that could easily handle. Because, I mean, if you look at our brains, there's only one small lobe in there that handles all of our 5 senses. So that's completely doable up here, and then you'd have the other two that... One is like an avionics package similar to the Gafando Na, and the other one is the actual quote-unquote brain, the seat of intelligence. So that was my way to explain that. And then you have like the Angolorians. They're very wolf-like. So, I've got other ones like Grey Fang. He's got more of a kind of a Roman centurion type outfit. This guy's kind of more generic citizen. There's other ones. Let's see. Grey Fang. Yeah, Grey Fang's kind of got more of the Roman... Well, this one's more like an Indian, if you will, or Native American or something like that. But when I actually... And I don't have one that's a good example, so this is the closest I could come up with. Or is that... Yeah, that's Grey Fang. Yeah, in the actual story, he's more like wearing like Roman duds, like what you'd have from a senator or a centurion or something like that. Nisp as a diplomat, he's got, his is a lot more accurate because he's got more like the senatorial and diplomatic robes. Shadow, he's special forces, so he's just decked out in combat gear. But anyways, there's, like I say, the different ones like that. And and it doesn't have to just be characters. And like I say, you don't have to have it 100% perfect. I mean, you could get it as close to 100% as possible if you either draw it yourself or you hire somebody to draw it. But really, do you need that much effort into something that's going to be just for you? Now, if you're going to put it in your book or you're going to publish it in a gazetteer, monster manual, whatever you want to do with it, yeah, doing that example art where it is character accurate, that's worth the investment. It's going to cost a bit of money to do that, but it's character accurate. But yeah, just generalized imagery like this is sufficient for what you're trying to portray. Like with the Andeans, they're tabby cat-like aliens that are information nerds. And as you can see, that's kind of the generic one. And then you've got Patch. I love this image, so I just used that for Patch because I was like, that so fits who he is. Very much kind of the Shaolin cat, if you will. Loki, he's totally the spy, so this kind of an outfit fits him perfectly. I think like with Patch and with this one, they were really, really close to how I actually pictured the characters. Six Paws, not so much. I pictured him a little differently, but this was the closest I could get. So, and I do finally remember who Patch's boss was. It's Trell. It's this little douchewad right here. So, but that again, not accurate to Trell, but close enough. So I just went with it. Basil, I borrowed it from the original image, so I figure, yeah, I don't have any spare images, so I'll just steal it from the original base image. You can. Okay, that doesn't have it. That one does. That's kind of more a filler. I didn't really have a good one for that one either, but you can use, let's see, I think the Gate Fawn actually have a better one. Joke. Yeah, that was kind of meh. Okay, this one's actually decent. This one kind of sets the mood. This is Vokrak. This is actually not a planet the Gate Fawn own. This is a merchant station in the middle of space. This is where people come in and they do commerce and trade. The trade guilds are there, stuff like that. So you've got that you can use. Yeah, again, Vokrak, not a great one, so I just had a filler there. Now, Trandus is an interesting one. This one's more accurate to the actual planet. That it is a gigantic water world. And there's, it's constantly filled with storms and rough seas and other things like that. And to accent that fact, I have this, where a lot of the cities are floating over a very active sea. Some of them are on the sea, standing on stilts. Some are on the very few land masses that are there. So, there are a number of different things. I used Bing for that particular one. You can tell by the great big B down here. Bing has an AI generator that does good for roughing out images. Midjourney's good for that. If you look at this one here, this was made with Midjourney. Now, I did a little photoshopping because I had to blend two images together because one had the body I needed, the other had the head I needed. So AI Art's a good one for examples. Like I used AI Art. I think this one was Midjourney 2, and I used it to build an example there. This one was just found on Google. This was just one that happened to be floating around on Google. I looked at it, I thought, yeah, that's a good one as a size reference. That I don't remember where I got that from. But I liked it from the fact that it kind of shows the forearms and the legs a lot more accurately. It shows the wings a lot more accurately. And this was one of my original character models before I got the later ones. And then this is just a different way of looking at the first picture. A little bit different way of viewing them. So, again, and you can use more than one image for example art. Like here I have 5 different images, each one covering a different perspective. Because one image doesn't cover all of it, so I have several of them. Now this one, again, not a great image, but this one does set a good mood, so I used that one for Ember. This one I have for Offworld. It's not even a big image. It was just kind of like a little thumbnail I ran into that I used for just a mental picture for the planet. That one of these days I need to do a map for that, and that's going to be kind of hard because the map unfolds throughout the story, and it takes there's a lot to that map, so it would take quite a bit to actually create it unless I do it like a zoomed out from orbit type view. But eventually I will. See if I got. Oh, well, this one's just mood setting. I have him. I had a better one, but wonderful me, I lost it. Has a lot better view of him. This one ended up being the second best one I could find. The other one would have been like top notch if I'd had it, but this was a close second, so I used that. That's just okay. They're regular wolves. That's a regular wolf. There we go. Here's the other one I was thinking of. This one is a size comparison image. This one shows you, here's how big the character is. He's big enough to slap a saddle on him. Not a perfect representation of Angus and his brothers, but as far as size comparison goes, this is a good size reference. So there's a lot of different things you can do, and I'm giving you kind of a primer on this. I think I've kind of covered this a little bit in other videos, but this one's more okay. Now you've done your notes. Now you need to go out and start getting your artwork. And again, start with Google. Find stuff. This is example art. Don't use it in anything you're going to be publishing or making money on, or that's official content. It's a visual form of your writing notes. It's like what I say with my wiki. My wiki is not it's not like my novels. It's not something that's for public consumption. It's my personal notepad. I share it with others because then the others can look at it and say, oh, that's who this is. This is who they look, or this is what they look like. This is the other details about it that may or may not have been covered in the book, extra information and stuff. So it's my writing notepad. If you want to do something that's for public consumption, something that's like a gazetteer or a monster manual or a technology book or something like that, you want to have actual paid official art to go in that. These are fine if you're just using it with a disclaimer that says it's just for my personal use, and you can view it if you want to, but it's my writing notepad, etc. Once you start getting into something that involves copyrights, trademarks, and publishing rights and things like that, spend the money. Trust me, it's cheaper to spend the money on the artist than it is on the lawyers. Believe me. Although adding a lawyer into the mix probably doesn't hurt, because if you get somebody who's good with copyright and trademarks and stuff, they can do all of that stuff for you. Again, that's going to be a big money outlay, but it's a lot cheaper than going to court because you did something that broke copyright and you're about to lose your fanny and somebody's going to take you to the cleaners. So, consider your legalities when you're doing that. Because as far as I know, and somebody can probably tell me if I'm right or not, but I'm pretty 99% certain that as long as it's for personal use, copyright does not apply, because you're not making money off of it. It's just for your personal use. You might have to do disclaimers. You might have to give credit, because there are some people that say, oh, if you use this publicly on on your blog or whatever, you have to at least give me credit. So if that's the case and you have a public wiki, then give them credit. If you're using the thing and you're not making money off it, at least give them credit, because that's one of the stipulations in copyright law. They have to get credit, even if if you're using it and making money, you have to get it licensed. If you're using it for personal use, like you're on your YouTube channel or something, you're not making money off it, they at least have to get credit. You have to. It's like even in your books, anything that is not something you own, that not personal intellectual property, you have to give credit to the original creators. That is a requirement of copyright law. So, and I admit there's probably a few things on my wiki that I don't remember where I got them from, so I can't give them official credit. And if you are somebody whose images I've used and borrowed and stuff, and I haven't given you credit, please let me know. I'll fix that. Some of them, there is no credit. You don't know where it came from. If you knew where it came from and you can give them credit, give them credit. If you don't know where it came from, or it was, or if it was some random image, you can put in there a disclaimer on it that says, hey, I found this. I think it's this person. Give them credit, and then you're fine. AI art, that's kind of a gray area. We're still working that one through the courts. When I say we, I'm talking about like people in general. There's a whole bunch of lawsuits going around. There's the DeviantArt versus Midjourney lawsuit, and the legalities of AI art have not been ironed out yet. So if you're going to use it for official artwork, be very, very careful and do a lot of CYOA, because if the court rulings go the direction I think they are, AI art is going to die, because they're going to say you either pay us a fat chunk of money or go away, and then these companies aren't going to have the money to pay for those licensing things, and they're just gonna fold. I think at some point in time, things like ChatGPT, and Midjourney and the Bing AI art thing and all of that is going to go away, because there's this huge, there's going to be this huge legal hullabaloo about this. So, that's why I say if it's just you using it as example art, that's fine. That's allowable under copyright. That's fair use. It's when you start making money or taking credit for it yourself, then they start having a problem. So, anyways, I think at this point that's about all I have. Really, like I say, when it comes to example art, do your diligence on you can use YouTube, you can use Google, you can use Midjourney or other AI art things. You can use like DeviantArt. Be careful using DeviantArt. Like I say, give credit if you know where you took it from. Like if you're on DeviantArt, you're going to know where you took it from. So, make sure you give credit for them. If you found it just randomly on the internet and you don't know who it belongs to, you can go through TinEye to figure out who the original author was. Now, that's not necessarily a fail-proof system. I've looked up things for like this wolf and other things like that. I have found some that are like They're game art, actual game art. And I just looked at them and said, nope, I'll move on to something else. Because I knew it was game art, it was a licensed product, it was a trademarked product. And even if it's for personal use, I'm not even going to risk it. I'm just going to back away and walk away from that one. And then if I find one that's second best, and it's either a gray area or it's freeware or nobody knows who the original artist was, then yeah, I'll use that one instead. So yeah, definitely, like I say, when you're doing artwork or you're even other story text and names and stuff like that, be very diligent on giving credit when credit is required or due. So, and that's if you know. Some of you won't. And I mean, I've collected so much of it, I don't even know where half of my stuff comes from. The other half I know is half of it I don't know where it comes from, and the other half I do know where it comes from, and I know it's safe to use. And if I just use, like if I don't post it on my wiki and I just keep it for myself as a writing aid, that's fine. Then because it's you're not putting it out there in the public and going through all of the hullabaloo that comes with copyrighted images and stuff. You're just using it yourself as a writing aid. Copyright authors don't care about that. But like I say, once you start either taking credit for their work or start making money off of their work, that's when things get ugly. But anyways, I will leave it at that. And as usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, so on and so forth, as usual, please let me know. And I'll see you guys next time.